Hello everyone, welcome to Math Companion. Now let's start with A. So all these questions we're just going to use one theorem, which is the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. Now all we need to do for us to work out A, we know 118 lies on a straight line, and therefore the remaining part here is going to be 180. You subtract 118, which is equals to 62 degrees. So the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. What it means is, for me to get A is actually 2 times 62. So A will be equals to 2 times 62, which is equals to 124. So A is equals to 124 degrees. Now, next is almost the same way. 180 minus 116, which is equals to 180 minus 116 is actually 64 degrees. And the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. Therefore, this angle over here should be twice 64. It's not B. Look at this angle. The 64 is below the two chords of the circumference of the circle, and therefore the angle that we are supposed to compare is the angle that is below. Okay, and therefore 64 times 2, this angle here is supposed to be 128. Now, for me to get B, so B is going to be 360. You subtract 128 degrees. So 360 minus 128 is minus 128 is 232 degrees. So B is 232 degrees. Okay, sorry, it's not looking nice. Let me write it again. 232 degrees. B is 232 degrees. 232 degrees. Oh yeah. Okay, now let's look at C. C is, let's look at C here. Now, the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. Now, if this is C, then this angle over here, it should be equal to 2C. Because this is below the two chords, and therefore we compare with the angle that is below the two radii. So therefore, since we have 2C and we know that the angle at the center adds up to 360 degrees, we are going to write it as follows. So 2C plus 204, it should be equal to 360 degrees. Therefore, 2C is equals to 360 minus 204. So 360 minus 204, you get 156. So 2C is equals to 156. Therefore, C is equals to 78 degrees. So this angle C is 78 degrees. Now let's look at the next one, D. Now look at this. The angle at the circumference is 105. It is above the two chords. Therefore, we compare it with an angle above the radius. So 105 can be compared with this angle here that I have highlighted in blue. Therefore, 105. So this one should be a half of what I have highlighted in blue. So 105 times 2, you get 210. Now, for me to get D, therefore, D plus 210, it should be equal to 360 degrees. And therefore, D is 360 minus 210, and therefore D is 150 degrees. Okay, so angle D is 150 degrees. Now, next let's look at E. Very interesting one here. Now, first, let's look at the triangle. There's a little triangle at the center here. Now, this triangle actually has got, it's an isosceles triangle. This side here and that side here, they are equal. Therefore, this is going to be equal to 35 degrees. Now, my interest is to get the angle at the center. Now, but look at this. If over here you have E, this one here is 2E. Okay, sorry. This is 2E. This angle here. Now, we are therefore going to write it as 35 plus 35 plus 2E is equals to 180 degrees. So 35 plus 35 plus 2E is equals to 180. Why did I equate it to 180? It's because the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. Now, I'm going to proceed with this calculation over here. So, which means 70, because 35 plus 35 is 70. 70 plus 2E is equals to 180. Now, 2E is equals to 180 minus 70, which is equals to 110. And therefore, if I need to get E alone, it's equals to 55 degrees. So therefore, E is 55 degrees. This angle E is 55. Now, next is, let's look at F. 54, it just lies above the 2 radius, 154, sorry, and therefore it should be equal to it should be equal to 2F. So we say 2F is equals to 154, simply by saying that the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. So dividing by 2 on both sides, F is going to be equal to 77 degrees. So F is 77. This is 77. Right? Now, and for me to find X, I know the angle at the center is twice that one at the circumference. So if that is X up there, this one should be equal to 2X. And I know the angles at that point, they add up to 360 degrees. So 2X plus 154 is equals to 360. Now, therefore, 2X will be equals to 360 minus 154. So 360 minus 154, you are going to get 206. Sorry, you are going to get 206. So 360 minus, I'm trying to confirm it again, is 206. So 2X is equals to 206. Dividing by 2 on both sides, X is equals to 103. All right. This is 103 degrees. All right. It's very interesting because when you look at the picture, angle X seems to be an angle that is less than 180 degrees, actually an acute angle. But these kind of drawings, they are not drawn to scale. And therefore, for us to work out the angles, we are supposed to be using the circle theorems. All right, so it shouldn't worry you that we got 103 degrees. Now, coming to G, we have two isosceles triangles here. So if this side and that side are equal, then it means this one should be equal to 38 degrees. And if this side and that side they are equal, then this is 37 degrees. Now, for us to work out this, we are going to have 37 plus 38, which is equals to 75 degrees. Therefore, let me highlight it in red. the whole of this angle here, the angle highlighted in red, is 75 degrees. 75 degrees. And for me to have G is actually twice as big as, sorry, G is actually, twice as big as 75. So which means if I need to get G, it's going to be 2 times 75, and therefore my angle G is equals to 150 degrees. 150. Okay. Now the last one for now, let's look at H. So the angles in a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. We have 140. Therefore 140, 180 minus 140, you're going to get 40 degrees. And the angle at the center is twice that one at the circumference. Therefore, this is the angle at the center, which is equals to 80. And therefore, H is just a half of the angle at the center, which is 80. So H is just a half of 80. 1 over 2 times 80. So H is equals to 40 degrees as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to get updated every time we post super interesting questions. Have a great time. Bye bye.